Yes, hello everyone. Welcome back to WD18. It's player ratings time. We've just done a match reaction, so if you haven't watched that, make sure you go over to our YouTube channel and check out our match reaction with Sam. And before we do get into the player ratings, please do leave a like if you enjoyed the video, and don't forget to subscribe to WD18. We really do appreciate the support at the moment with the latest videos. Right, Sam, let's get straight into the player ratings. We'll kick it off with the GK today, which was Daniel Bachmann, not the cycling GK, but the GK is coming, which is Daniel Bachmann. And you said in the match reaction, you said he was man of the match. So I'm expecting a high rating for Daniel.
Yeah, I'm going to give Bachmann a 9 today. Really, while he didn't have a lot to do, I thought what he did do was absolutely brilliant. We mentioned it in the match reaction that his kicking was brilliant. I'd say that's the major advantage he's got over Ben Foster. And also to be that sharp, to make that save from that Sarr to header from what would have been an own goal was absolutely brilliant. So, massive credit to Bachmann, and he's deserving his opportunity. I mean, we'll say it over and over again, but as a backup goalkeeper, when you have your opportunity, you have to take it, and he's doing that. So I'm so pleased for Bachmann more than anything else.
Yeah, I agree, Sam. I think he's got to get given a high rating today. I actually think purely based, I echo completely what you said about distribution for me. And this is not me digging out Foster, but Daniel Bachmann is very calm on the ball. Yeah. He just, as a fan watching on, he puts me at ease, to be honest with you. The way he's very comfortable with both feet. And actually, I think it was only 1 point in the first half where he hit one into touch, but he was trying to find the left back. I think it was Messina. But apart from that, his distribution was really good. And I also think he has to get given a high rating today, purely based on that save from Francisco Sirialto. We'll get onto his rating. But Sirialto had a great performance, but that moment could have quite easily changed the complexion of the game. I think it was around the 70th minute. It was at a crucial point in the second half. And for Daniel Bachmann, because he didn't have a lot to do. I mean, I don't think he actually had a save to make from Barnsley. But that moment to not be out of the game and then bang, like he's got to make a save.
No, 100%.
That was brilliant.
Yeah, these are the sorts of moments that, if hopefully the season ends in the way we all want it to, we're going to look back on, moments like that save and think that is, where it could have turned for us easily. And we talk about, again, how important this game was tonight to get the 3 points, and such an important save, brilliant performance. And I'm so pleased for him.
Right, we'll move on from Daniel Bachmann, who's got given a 9 from Sam. So let us know if you agree with that in the comments. I'm sure you all thought he played pretty well today, but whether you thought it was a 9 out of 10 performance, then let us know in the comment section. As for all the player ratings, we'll move on to the back four, Sam. Kiko Femenia, and I have to say, just to tee it up, I thought Kiko again. He has been probably our player of the season so far. Absolutely brilliant at right back. What did you make of his performance tonight?
100%. I'm going to give him an 8.5 out of 10. Kiko, again, just so composed at the back. There was a time where the ball looked like it was going out of play for a corner, and he sprinted back and managed to save the ball, because I think Barnsley at times did look a bit threatening with the balls into the box. So that was really important. And Kiko, by a mile, in my eyes, has been player of the season for us. So consistent. He seems happy at the football club. He's committed, and he plays for the badge, as so many people said on our previous video. So Kiko, I'm going to give a solid 8.5 to.
He was brilliant, absolutely brilliant again. I think what I really rate about Kiko when he's playing his best is when he's under pressure, he's so good under pressure. So calm. The little touches just to get him out of a situation, and sometimes, especially with Ismaila on the right hand side, he's bombing forward, and Kiko has to support him and then get back. And Kiko's so good at that. And I have to agree, Sam. I think 8.5's pretty much fair. And to be fair, if we were going to give an average rating for Kiko this season, it probably would be around 8.5, because he's been so consistent and so good for us this season. We'll move on to the two centre-backs. We'll start with William Troost-Ekong, who, he could have got on the score sheet, couldn't he, in the second half? It was a brilliant ball from Philip Zinkernagel, whipped it in, and Troost, he was saying in the post-match with Cavaselle about them having a competition with him, and I think he actually said he should have done better with it, and I would have backed him to score from there, because he does get into. It was a really good bit of movement. What did you make of? What would you give him out of 10, Sam, today?
I'd give Troost-Ekong an 8. I think. I thought actually I'd say 8.5. Let's be really positive today. I'd say he was at the same level as Kiko. Just so solid at the back. Simply because I thought he had a bit of an iffy game against Huddersfield, particularly in the first half, and he came back and looked absolutely rock solid. We were talking just now off air about how he improves against the tougher opponents, and we're playing against Woodrow
Corey
today.
Woodrow, he's a good player.
Yeah, really, really good player. And I think Troost would have been aware of how difficult playing against him would have been. So I'm going to give Troost-Ekong an 8.5. Premier League quality centre-half. We really should have got someone like Troost-Ekong in last season or the season before that, and just seems a really good bit of business. And using that Udinese link again has worked to our advantage.
Yeah, I really like Troost-Ekong. I think since he's come in, he's settled so well. There's definitely already a rapport with the supporters as well. And I think the fact he's managed to build that without fans being in the stadium, I just think there's something about him. He gets the football club, doesn't he? He gets it.
Yeah.
And I really do like William Troost-Ekong. And to be fair, the man he's next to at the moment, they're forming a really solid partnership in the back line. And that is Francisco Sierralta, 23 years of age. Yes, there was that moment with Daniel Bachmann in the second half, but if we take that out of his performance, I thought he was good today, Sierralta. I said it, man of the match in my match reaction. We're going to talk outfielders, outfield players rather. I think he was up there for man of the match, but then obviously you've got to remember Daniel Bachmann, who did play well. I'm going to change my man of the match, and we'll get on to him later on. It's probably Ismaila Sarr. I think that was his best performance this season for us. I thought he was really good down the right hand side. Sierralta was definitely top of 3 for me. But what did he give him out of 10, Sam? Sierralta today.
I gave Sierralta an 8.5 as well. I thought, first of all, the first half he was so composed. He was winning everything in the air, and based on that, I would have given him a 9 personally. However, that header again, it could have cost us so much. We've spoken about it already, but I think with that performance, if we'd lost it from an individual error that could have been prevented, I know we spoke about this already, but it wasn't necessarily his positioning. It was just perhaps he took his eye off the ball or something. But it could have cost us so much, which is why I brought him down to an 8.5. But how he was our 5th choice centre back, 2-3 weeks ago, is unbelievable. He is so good. First name on the team sheet, and I'm a massive Sierralta fan.
Yeah, I have to admit, I think maybe I looked at, when I think back to the match action, I think I was maybe a little bit overhyping it in the sense that I kind of forgot about that moment, that because Daniel Bachmann made it kind of look routine. I kind of forgot about it. It was a good header, to be fair. Yeah. But I think if we actually take that out of the performance, and this is the thing, people only remember the mistakes, but I actually thought Sierralta's overall performance, he was really good. He won everything in the air pretty much. I thought his distribution was well. His reading of the game has really improved, I think. And he's adapting to the tempo as well. We've got to say, guys, he hasn't played in England before. He's adapted so well to the tempo of the Championship, and it actually suits his style of defending. So I have to agree. I think Adams in the chat says here after 7.5. Rudy says 8.5. I think I'm going to go Rudy's rating is the same as you, Sam, 8.5. We'll move on to the left back. Someone who goes a little bit under the radar, actually, Sam, is Adam Messina. And for me tonight, everything he did well.
Yeah, I'd say everything he did well. And he didn't really put a foot wrong. But at the same time, it wasn't necessarily... I think with Messina, he's coming back from a long injury, probably his longest spell in his career. And he's still getting up to full speed. And I said already, we were really missing that left back. And you can tell, just particularly on that left-hand side, how much more comfortable we look with that left back in there. I'm going to give him an 8 and not any higher, simply because I feel like he's still getting up to speeds, and a couple of times perhaps he was caught off pace or he was a bit slow to get back up, but that would come again with match sharpness and match fitness. So I'm going to give Adam Messina an 8 out of 10. Yeah,
I think there's people in the chat agreeing with you, Sam, which is great. I'll give him an 8. Says Cohen. We've got Shane said Messina. You're not Hornet Shane. Messina keeping the ball today. Adam again says he was an 8. 8.5 says Crazy Cam 2004. He looked comfortable on the ball. And Oliver Brown again says Messina 8. I'm going to go with an 8 today. I think, as I said to you before, Messina does go under the radar a little bit with his performances, and I think what he does really well. And I have to say, Sam, we were looking for a left back, and I think because Kiko can cover there, it maybe isn't as much of a priority anymore. Having said that, though, we are maybe one injury away from having to play Kiko there. So it's a little bit of a concern if that does happen. We'll move on to the midfield. And I actually said Ismaila Sarr was he my man of the match? Oh, flip-flop again. I think it was between him and Hughes or Bachmann. Oh, there were so many good performances today.
It's a good thing to have. It just shows how, like under Ivic or, in earlier performances this season, we never had the opportunity to choose between 4 or 5 man of the matches. And it's so good to have this kind of dilemma that we have.
Yeah, we'll talk. We'll touch on Sarr, Sam. I think for me today, Sarr was really good. I actually think he benefited from Troy dropping a little bit deeper because it allowed him to bomb forward and make those runs in behind. I think it was one point where Troy played this really good ball on the outside of his foot to the right hand side, and Sarr was constantly kind of trying to hit that right hand side channel. And this is the frustration with me with Sarr is sometimes he doesn't. I almost sometimes he forgets how quick he is. Because we know once he gets going and gets his legs going, he's so quick down the right hand side, and I think today he showed that. What did you give him out of 10?
I gave Sarr the same as Batman. I gave him a 9. I mean, I think I gave Batman the man of the match simply because I'm so happy for him as a person. You know, waiting a long time to come into the team,
sentimental sort of thing.
Yeah. But I'll give Sarr a 9 as well. His best performance by a mile this season. He was enjoying his football again, and that's ultimately the most important thing for a footballer is to enjoy it. I think everyone here seems to be agreeing with me with 9. Someone's saying 8.5, but again, he's showing his quality. Well. And exactly. You know, so he's showing his quality, and you know, this is if he carries on with these performances, perhaps as well, you know, he'll get his desired move as well. And as long as he gets us back into the Premier League, I'm sure we can all accept that.
Ismail was really good today. I think what will be interesting is, I don't want to bring it back to transfer talk, but whether someone does come in for him, because we've got to be realistic here. I think he can play at a high level. I think there will be interest from elsewhere. It's just whether we stick or twist with him, whether we get a bid that's near our valuation or whether it's a case of just keeping him to the end of the season saying, Isma, come on, mate, try and get us up and then we'll go again. So, most people agreeing with you, Sam, in the comments. 9 from pretty much everyone. Adam actually made a really good point. Sarr 10 because of the smile. It was
Can't argue with that. Yeah.
And Oliver agrees with you as well. Sam, we'll move. Actually, we'll flip it over to the left wing. Ken Sema. I was not critical of him, but I think out of everyone today, he did struggle. I think that's probably fair. Was he one of the maybe lower end of the player ratings?
Yeah, so I gave him a 7. I think that's fair because I didn't think. Bear in mind, for me, I kind of see 7 as kind of like a good performance, not incredible, but it was very good. And he didn't do anything wrong. Let's just clarify that for a start. But he's not been the same Ken Sema that we saw at the start of the season. He's not kind of as quick down the line. He's not bringing out, you know, his skills, that kind of thing. And it was a good performance from Sema. There's not much more to say, and hopefully he can regain his form and start hitting those 8s and 9s again.
Yeah, it's a good point, Sam. I think we said it about the break he had where he was out for 9 days for whatever reason we don't actually know. But it seemed he's lost a yard of pace, and I'm really hoping he can regain that yard of pace because actually when he gets going, Sam, he's actually quite frightening for defenders because he's so good at getting to the byline, and more often than not, you back him to get to the byline. And I would have given him. What did you give him? 7.5.
I gave him 7, just the 7.
Yeah, I was going to give him around 6.5, 7. I think he was
6.5, 7.
Yeah, 6.5, 7. I think he was one of the poorer players out of a good team performance. So he wasn't bad, but I just think
it wasn't bad at all.
Wasn't near. You know, if you compare his performance to Sarr was above him. Oliver says 7.5 for Sema.
Yeah.
We've got a couple.
It's in that region, I say. Between it's kind of. I gave him a 7 because it's kind of that area. Some of the stuff he did was a 7.5. Some of it was a 6.5. So we'll say a 7. Yeah.
Well, us two, the WD18 duo, 7. But yeah, there's some similar ratings in the comment section. We'll move on to the 2 central midfielders, Sam. Cleverley and Hughesy. I'll tell you what. We'll start with Hughesy. Because he's come in, I think it was his first championship. Am I right to say it's his first championship start this season?
I think it might be. It's definitely his first or his second.
It's not yet. I can't remember the game he started. No, Manchester United. He played from the start, but
probably in the championship. I think it's his first.
Yeah, I think it is. And to be fair, Sam, you know, I thought Hughesy was absolutely quality today. I love Will Hughes. I think he's brilliant. Yeah, but brilliant. As we mentioned in the match reaction, you know, he brings a calmness to the midfield that we've missed this season. I think sometimes, and this is nothing against Chalobah and Cleverley, but I think Chalobah's maybe guilty for it a little bit more, not making the right pass. But Hughesy makes the right pass 9 times out of 10. And to be fair, I'd give him around an 8.5, 9. I don't know about you.
I'd give him an 8.5, I think. Simply because I wouldn't say with Hughesy, he was definitely on the upper end of our performances today. He was absolutely phenomenal, and it's what we've been crying out for so long. A lot of people are saying 9.5, 10s in the comments here. It's evident he's a fan's favourite as well. I still think though that there is more to come from Hughesy, and that's so promising considering he's just back from injury as well. And a couple of times I thought he gave the ball away a bit. He was a bit sloppy at times, and that's why I'm not giving him any higher than an 8.5. So. But yeah, so good, and it's so promising, and so good to have him back, and brilliant to see him with the captain's armband on as well.
Yeah, it was really good to see him play today. I thought he was, I thought he was good. So I made a comment about Sema. Sema's been one of our best players this season. Let's allow him a bad run out today. Yeah, I think that's very, very good point from David about Sema. It wasn't as good today. But he's been one of our best players this season, so we can't judge him just on today. But Hughesy, just going back onto it, Sam, I thought. I'm going to go push it up a little bit. I'm going to go for a 9 for Hughesy today.
Okay. Yeah,
number one, because I think he's just I think Hughesy when he plays, we're so much better team. We're more balanced for starters. I think Hughesy's really good at balancing, going forward and staying back. And I also think he just his passing for me. He's so positive with his passing. For me, that was really, really encouraging. We've got 9.5. So everyone's really positive about 9.5 from Rudy. Some big ratings.
I think David here makes a really good point that he passes the ball forward, and we really missed that in the middle. I think even with because Capu didn't really play at the start of the season. He's obviously gone now with Cleverley, Garner, Chalobah, whoever was playing in there. A lot of the time we complained it was sideways, backwards, and he just brings the team forward. And again, you said it, but having Hughes playing, it's not necessarily the fact that he's playing, it's the fact that he gives everyone else a boost around him, and it just brings the team up the pitch. So massive having Hughesy back.
Agree, mate. Agree. We'll move on to his midfield partner today. That was Tom Cleverley. What we get with Tom is Mr. Consistent, isn't it? He more often than not gives us a 7.5, 8 out of 10 most weeks. What did you give him today?
I gave him an 8. I spoke about it in the match reaction. I thought he went really under the radar tonight. Worked and ran his socks off. Snapping into challenges. He's getting the ball out of his feet much faster as well, which I'm really liking under Munoz. So I'm going to give Cleverley an 8. I think that's fair. I didn't think he was above that, really. I didn't think he was absolutely out of this world. But again, with Cleverley, you're not going to get that. It was consistent, solid. Can't ask for much more in terms of attitude.
Yeah, I agree. I think 8 to 8.5 was probably a fair rating for Tom Cleverley. As I said to you before, what you see is what you get with Tom. I mean, he gives his all every single game. And I know he got brought off today. I think it was, the 70th minute? And it was really funny to see the captain's armband get brought from Dealey to Cleverley to Hughes in the space of 5 minutes.
Yeah. It's good as well, though, because we've complained about the lack of leaders in the side and what's going to happen when Troy moves on. But it's just showing that we do have some upcoming leaders in this side, and it's really good to see. Yeah,
I agree, mate. I agree. 8.5 from Rudy again. Some really good rankings. Charlotte makes a great point in the chat. Great to see Hughes get the minutes today. Would love to see PZ7. I already like that nickname, by the way.
PZ7. We need PZ7.
It works. I think you started that trend, didn't you, Sam?
Yeah. I said I don't want Zinc. I want PZ7.
You're taking the credit for that one. We'd like to see PZ7 get some more game time on Friday. We'll get on to Zinc and Arguel's rating and where if we'd like to see him more. I'm pretty sure we'd all like to see him more. But Cleverley, so Hughesy went for what, an 8.5? Did you go for?
Yeah, Hughesy went 8.5. You went 9, and then Cleverley went 8. I went 8.
Yeah, I think 8's fair. I think 8's fair with Cleverley. I think, to be fair, mate, I think what I was going to ask you before there was a point I was going to make about Hughesy and Cleverley. Do you think Cleverley plays better next to Hughesy? Because we've now seen him next to Chalobah and Hughesy, and I think both. And I think Cleverley's going to be the constant in the central midfield role. Yeah. But it's whether he plays Chalobah or Hughes, and I think more often than not he will play Hughes. Do you think there's a difference in the way Tom Cleverley plays depending on who he's next to?
I think there is a difference. I think with Chalobah, I think he's got more license to go forward. I think we've seen that. He's getting the goals as well. At Swansea away, did Chalobah start? I can't remember. It was
Swansea away. He did start next to Tom Cleverley. Yeah.
Yeah. So again, Cleverley got the goal. He got the goal the other day because he's got more license to move forward next to Chalobah. So it does change the way he plays. But I think, again, with Cleverley, he's just Mr. Consistent. You know what you're going to get regardless of who's next to him and who's going to play. So I think that's kind of dodging the question. But
no, I know what you mean. I tell you what, for me, what I saw today with Tom is I felt like he wasn't rushing his passes as much for me. I thought he was. I think the thing is with Chalobah, what we mention a lot of times, what he does really well, which is break up play and distribute it. And sometimes his passing is a little bit hit and miss, but I think Cleverley and Hughes complement each other quite well for me.
Yeah,
because there's quite a good relationship there. One of them will drop deep, and then other will go a bit further forward. And you need that in a 4-4-2. You need that relationship. And hopefully, if they can get a run of games, they can start to build that up. We'll move on to up front, Sam. A goal for Troy Deeney today. No goals for Andre Gray. Arguably, Andre Gray should have had 4. I think 3 or 4 goals. I
think this is now in the comments with the strikers where we're going to get a real a spectrum of
So guys, before we get into our ratings, let us know in the live chat now what are your player ratings for Deeney and Gray, and we will read them out. Sam, for you, we'll start off with Troy, who just dropped into that kind of centre forward role just behind the advanced forward, I guess, in Andre Gray. What would you give him out of 10 today?
I would give Troy an 8 out of 10. I think it was probably his best performance, as well as Sarr's his best performance of the season so far. I thought he held the ball up really well. He won pretty much everything in the air. Obviously, he dispatched that penalty perfectly. I thought Deeney was really, really good today, and that's what we've asked for Troy. We know what he's good at. We got, you said in the match reaction, it reminds me of Deeney and Igalo up front together kind of today, with the way Deeney dropped in and kind of release the ball forward. So I'm going to give Deeney an 8 today.
Yeah, I think especially at work, Gino should feel the party. Oh, what a legend! But yeah, no Gino, no parties.
Sign a centre mid, please, Gino. We need a striker as well.
Yeah, come on, Gino, get on it, buddy. I think with Troy, we mentioned it in the match reaction. What he benefits from is dropping deeper, looking forward, because I think Troy struggles when he's the advanced forward and having to have his back to goal. It doesn't really work with him as a lone striker in particular. I think genuinely we are one striker away from building a really good team at Watford. I really do believe that. We're one focal point away from actually scoring quite a few goals. And that's where maybe the negative for me today is, we should have had the game. We should have put the game to bed by about 60 minutes. We had so many opportunities. Andre Gray, Truce de Kong. I think Zhao had one, didn't he, in the second half? I think there was just quite a few across the pitch. But yeah, I think with Troy's performance today, I would probably give him. What did you give him again? 8.5. I
gave Troy an 8.
He was on for 60 minutes, and I didn't agree with the substitution in all honesty. I would have kept him on for a bit longer, but I guess it's just to save the legs. I'm going to agree with you because he came off a little bit earlier. I'm going to have to say it's not his fault with that, but I think 8. I think 8's probably a fair reflection, but definitely best performance from Troy this season. Now we move on to Andre Gray, Sam. Who, the ratings are starting to roll in, and I have to admit, there's a real range of player ratings. We've got 5, 6, 6.5 from Rudy. Troy 6, Gray 1. Gray 6.5. He kept on running even when he couldn't score. I think that's a very fair point. Very fair point. I do feel sorry for Andre Gray because, as we said, Sam, he should have had a hat trick today, shouldn't he?
Yeah, I had. I've got Gray down here as a 7, but I think I'm going to change it to a 6.5 on reflection of. I think looking at the chats kind of put it into perspective. I think at the end of the day, it doesn't matter how much a striker runs or how much work he puts in for the team. His role is to score goals. And I think with Gray, it's a confidence problem, which is why I'm not giving him any lower, because you can't fault the effort today. He got into good positions. And it's just the case that Munoz, our friend Elliot said in the press conference, Munoz has said that when Gray gets one goal, all the goals will start flowing in. And I kind of felt that today that, if he got that first goal when he got around the keeper, I thought maybe he would have had the confidence to get 2 or 3 more. So, with Gray, I'm going to give him I think I said 6. I'll give him a 6.5 simply because he didn't kill the game off for us. And yeah.
Well, this is the thing, Sam, isn't it? Football is such a game of small margins, not to bring out the cliche, but the fact of the matter is, Andre Gray's overall play today, in terms of, I actually thought he made some good runs. We've got to be fair with it. He made some good runs tonight, got in good positions, but he should have scored at least 2, definitely. 2 or 3.
At least 2, yeah.
Right, and I actually thought it was really good play. That counter-attack was beautiful, by the way. Daniel Backman playing it to Daniel Backman played to Cleverley to Sarr, And then Andre Gray was just coming up through the rear, and you're thinking, come on, Andre, this is your opportunity, buddy.
Yeah.
And then I actually noticed when he was running, he had his head down.
Yeah.
It's almost, I just think he lacks a little bit of awareness, maybe, and a bit of composure. Maybe?
I don't know. I kind of feel like his mind kind of almost when he's still on goal, it's like his mind kind of switches to like now. He's like, now this is my moment. Like, I mean, not my moment like that, but this is the chance now I have to kind of put things right. And I think kind of perhaps distracts him from actually putting the ball in the net. I don't know if that's too far-fetched, but again, it's just a confidence problem that he's not backing himself perhaps. And I think that's clear in the way he plays.
Yeah, I do feel sorry for Andre, and to be fair, Ben sums it up. Gray's movement is superb, and I don't think actually Gray's movement during his time at Watford has always been great. I think he's improved. To be fair, improved today, but he was good movement today. But he's got to be scoring that, hasn't he, Sam? He's got to be scoring it. So I'm going to go for a 6 as well. I think 6 is fair from Ben. We'll move on to the substitutes in no particular order. We'll start with. I mean, some of these guys weren't on for too long. I'll tell you what, Sam, we'll start off with someone who's getting a lot of praise in the chat, and that's Philip Zinkernagel. Came on, a flip between, he flicked quite a couple of times between the right, and then left. But what he showed today, that cross was just begging to be
amazing. Yeah,
wasn't it?
Lovely ball in, and he's kind of that. You said how we're so close to almost having the perfect Watford side, and I feel like he could be the creative spark that we've been crying out for. Perhaps since Tom Bashiru and Keenan got injured, and that he's kind of that link, I think, between the midfield and the attack that we've been crying out for so long. So, fingers crossed that when he actually comes in, he will, deliver for us on a weekly basis. And in terms of a rating, I find it difficult with substitutes, but I'll give Zinkernagel perhaps a 7.5.
7.5. We've got Johnsy said 9 looked fantastic, has to start. I think 9's probably a bit too high, but for in my opinion. But I think for me, Sam, he's got to get given a start now, hasn't he? I think Sema struggled tonight, and Zinkernagel came on. He did the best he could, and it's whether we play him on the left-hand side, even though we know he's stronger on the right. Would you start him against Stoke on Friday? We'll talk about it in the preview, obviously, but just a quick thoughts on it. Would you start him again on Friday, or would you continue with the winning team?
Yeah, if he's fit enough, I'd 100% start him. It's really difficult with Zinkernagel because we don't know how fit he really is. His season just finished in December. Can't forget that. So, hopefully he will be fit enough to start on Friday night, and we'll see the best of him away at Stoke. Because it's those sorts of games where you need that creative spark in a difficult physical game at Stoke. So it'll be really good to have him in the starting 11.
Yeah, that's the dilemma, isn't it? David M mentioned in the live chat. The trouble is, do you drop Sema for him?
Yeah,
it's difficult, really difficult. It's a great dilemma for Xisco. He's got depth, hasn't he, in those positions? But I'll tell you what, Sam. Have you got any ratings for some of the substitutes? It's probably easier to ask you in terms of what you. Is there any?
Who do we have? We had
Cathcart came on for 10 minutes, so we can't really rate him.
Yeah, Cathcart's fine. Chalobah was very good when he came on. Zinkernagel we said was brilliant. Chalobah, I give him an 8. 7, 8, yeah. 7.5, we'll just say. Simply because, because he did, we said it already, but what he does well. So he broke up the play quite easily, and I was happy with Chalobah. And who else was there who came on?
We had Zhao. Zhao came on.
Zhao was good when he came on. Again, not enough to perhaps get a rating, but all the subs did quite well when they came on, I thought.
Yeah, and I'll tell you what, Sam. What's your rating for Xisco today?
I said beforehand to you, I thought today he got it perfect. He got it bang on. We questioned him before the lineup, but he seems to with Barnsley's high line, he thought having Deeney to feed those balls through to Gray would perfect. And if Gray took those chances, more fans would be praising, saying he got it right tonight. So I'm going to give Xisco. Still wasn't perfect, but I'll give him an 8.5. I think.
Yeah. What are you guys in the live chat giving Xisco? I probably would give him. I think, to be fair, if you'd asked for a rating after seeing the lineup, I think it would have been a different story. But
yeah, probably 2.
But to be fair, I think to be fair, he got the team pretty much spot on.
I just want to pick up on this comment here from JT Byrne. It just he says that Right at the bottom, yeah. We seem to have a happy team again. And that's literally what we've been asking for all season, because they all seem to really, really struggle under Ivic, that he was just so distant with all of them. And I think that's where perhaps this Xisco appointment could be good. I mean, it's too early to say still, but he just seems to have this connection with the players, and he seems to get along really well with them, and he just makes them, they just all seem happier.
Yeah, I agree, mate. I think there's definitely a feel good factor with some. I think the squad like him, absolutely.
Yeah,
I remember I was actually listening to Cabasele's chat today on Hive Live, and he was like, he came in and he said what he's good at, he gets the balance between the serious side and the banter. You know, I think definitely with this Watford squad, this squad seems to work well with a manager who understands their needs. And I think maybe where his downfall was that he was so disciplined. And I think definitely that's a style that works, but I don't think it works with this squad. That's obviously been a situation for quite a few years now. But let's just look at some of the ratings before we wrap up. With Xisco, 9, 8.5. Elliot, who was at the game today, great to see Elliot, who'll be back.
Elliot.
Previews on Friday. I was actually happy with Gray and Deeney today, aside from Gray's misses. I thought he was talking about.
Someone said that in the comments earlier. I was like for a second, I was like, what?
Yeah, I thought Elliot was actually talking about Andre Gray's wife, but I think he was talking about his on-field performance today. Rudy says Xisco 9, Tactical Masterclass 10. Charlotte, would be great to have Vidra back. Can't believe he's still only 28. I'll tell you what, get the band back together. Marco Catetti, Anya, Vidra.
All of them. No, I think we really, I think we just quickly touch on transfers. I mean, it's a whole video in itself, and we don't want to get too negative, but we really do need to bring in a couple of names still this window, particularly a striker, perhaps still the Capu replacement, and I'd say a backup left back as well. We won't get all three; it's too unrealistic. But if we get one of the first two between the striker and the central midfielder, I'd say I'm happy. Yeah,
I think that's a good shout, mate. I do think the striker is a priority, isn't it?
Yeah, the striker is more of a priority, yeah.
Because although we say about Andre Gray, great movement today, and yes, he missed his opportunities, but we've got to be taking those chances. We've got to be.
We can't rely on Stipe as well, yeah.
No,
we don't know how good. Yeah, and we don't know how good Stipe actually is. I think Stipe, he shows good movement, but I think it's more of a case of people saying bring him into the team because he can't do much worse than what Gray and Deeney are doing at the moment. But I think it'll be difficult in this window, but we have to get a proven championship striker in there.
David, really, really nice comment in the live chat. Do more of these reviews, lads. Spot on. Thank you very much, David. We really do appreciate that. And if you do enjoy, guys, please do leave a like on the video. It's massively appreciated. We'll try and get Elliot in the next live. He couldn't be in today. In the live today because he was actually at the game for reporting for Vibes. So great stuff to see Elliot at Vicarage Road today, and fingers crossed he'll be around for the coming live streams. So thank you very much for the support, Adam. We've got a few more comments, Sam, before we wrap it up. Elliot saw our comment. Would you take Vidra, by the way, Sam? Sorry to go on a bit of a tangent. Would you take it?
I would take Vidra back. I don't think it will happen, but I think I would take him back. Just I think first of all it would lift the mood of the fan base. I think people would be really happy seeing him back, and I think he could still do it for us at this level.
Yeah. I mean, I saw people saying get the band back together and get Igalo back as well, but that's probably unlikely. We've got a few more comments. Can we recall Cucho? No, I don't think so.
Yeah, we're not going to see Cucho.
David, this squad can win this league, but please get a forward.
I think that's kind of almost two almost separate sentences, because I don't think this squad can win the league without the striker. So or the central midfielder. I don't think we've got enough to win the league personally. I don't even think we have enough to go up automatically still. I know, sorry, I'm trying not to be too negative. No. A really, really good night. But I think in these next few games, the priority has to be cementing ourselves in the playoffs, because we got an opportunity to kind of break away from the teams like Stoke, Barnsley and Middlesbrough. So we really do need to, just assert ourselves, and then we can focus on automatic promotion. But completely agree that we need to get a striker if we've got any chance of doing that. Yeah, as Jay Webb said in the live chat, Dwight Gale is a good shout. Elliot, definitely back for the next one. That's what we love to hear. So make sure you subscribe so you don't miss the next few videos. Sorry for keep reminding you guys, but it does really help us out. Cucho still got Watford in his bio. This is the sort of in the know stuff we love. let's not get our hopes up with Cucho.
Yeah, I think it's probably unlikely. Really lovely comment from Crazy Can 2004. Cheers for the videos, lads. You've been my saviour for transfer news and all Watford FC, especially seeing as I don't have Twitter or Instagram. Thank you very much, mate. We really do appreciate the kind words. That's very kind of you. I think that's pretty much it. Rudy, great stream. I think that's probably where we're going to wrap it up, Sam. Have we missed any players? I think we've done Cisco, we've done the squad.
Yeah, no, pretty much.
I would say rate the fans, but
yeah, difficult.
Rate the stream, Sam.
I'll rate in the stream today. I'll give you all a 10. You know, it's really good to see you all in here. Thank you. No, honestly though, I was saying to Jacob though, thank you all so much for the support recently. You know, we really enjoyed doing these lives, and it's just good to interact with other Watford fans when we can't do so in the stadium at the moment.
Yeah, absolutely, mate. I echo everything Sam said there. And Aaron's just said, can we get Shane on live? Need some view. See, wait, what? I don't know what that last one was. Can we get Shane on the live, lads? I tell you what, if you want to see it, guys, we've got to get. Actually, funny enough, Shane's just sent me his match reaction, so I'm going to get that uploaded now. So don't go to sleep just yet. Wait for Shane's reaction this evening. I'll get it up straight after this match reaction. But I think that is where we're going to wrap it up. Elliot was belting out the songs at Vicarage Road. Absolutely. Love that. 10 out of 10 live, by the way. Thank you very much, Oliver. That's where we're going to wrap up their player ratings. It's finished Watford 1, Barnsley 0 at Vicarage Road. Watford are up to third in the Championship. Good times. Looking forward to the next game, which is Stoke on Friday night. We're going to have a match preview recorded on Thursday, most likely. So make sure you do subscribe to the channel so you never miss an upload here on WD18. Don't forget to turn on your post notification and like the video if you did enjoy, and let us know your thoughts down in the comment section below as always, and we'll read through them and get back to you. Thank you for all of you getting involved tonight. It's been absolutely brilliant. It's always brilliant after a Watford win, but we really do appreciate the support at the moment and getting involved with our videos during these difficult times. So thank you very much, guys. Take care of yourselves, and we'll see you very, very soon. Cheers, guys.